This is one of the most disturbing things I've ever learned about Disney's Tower of Terror. Because the newspaper you see everywhere in the attraction, on the tea cart, on the couch, in the hallways outside of guest rooms, they all have the actual front page from the Los Angeles Examiner from October 31st, 1939, which is of course the date when everyone disappeared from the tower. Of all the headlines on this newspaper, the largest is, "Ruth Judd gives self up after 6 days, returns to asylum in hysterics." But what does that mean, you might ask? Well, buckle up because it's time for the story of Winnie Ruth Judd. So one night in 1931, Winnie Ruth met up with 2 friends at her friend's house for dinner and drinks. An argument broke out between the friends over Jack Halloran, the man Ruth was having an affair with. The details are a little bit hazy, but when all was said and done, all 3 women were wounded. Winnie Ruth in her left hand, and the other 2 women both fatally. The body of one of them was then jammed into a large trunk, but the other one wouldn't fit. So her body was then divided up and placed into multiple suitcases and covered by articles of clothing. Winnie Ruth then took these suitcases and boarded a train headed for Los Angeles. On the way, the suitcases started to not smell so great and, well, leak. So when she got to LA, the police were of course waiting for her and asked her to open the trunks. Claiming that her husband had the keys, she fled the scene. The trunks were forced open and, well, you know what they found. The media called her the trunk murderess. She claimed self-defense in her trial, but she was found guilty and sentenced to not live much longer. But days before the end, she had an insanity hearing and was found to be mentally incompetent, and then moved to the Arizona State Mental Hospital, which she escaped from 6 times, which is what we see here on the front page of the paper. The same newspaper which is everywhere in the Tower of Terror. The Hollywood Tower Hotel lobby is also littered with abandoned suitcases. A fact that, once you know about the story, is actually quite disturbing.